Ever pondered about the intricate tapestry of conflicts that weaved the history of the Korean Peninsula? The Korean Peninsula War, also known as the Korean War, was a monumental event that forever changed the course of history for the region. This conflict, which spanned from 1950 to 1953, was a bitter struggle that left a lasting impact on the world. The first flash of this fiery conflict sparked on June 25, 1950, when North Korean troops marched across the 38th parallel, the border that separated the communist North from the capitalist South. This invasion ignited the fuse of a war that would last for 3 grueling years. In the heart of the summer on July 5th, the Battle of Osan marked the first military clash between US and North Korean forces. Despite the United States' efforts, the North Koreans triumphed, illuminating the harsh reality of the conflict. Fast forward to September 15th, a crucial turning point in the war, the Battle of Incheon. This surprise amphibious assault, led by General Douglas MacArthur, resulted in a significant victory for the United Nations forces. The tides of war began to shift. Yet the war was far from over. The entry of China into the conflict in late October meant a new wave of battles. The Battle of Chosin Reservoir in late November was a testament to the resilience of UN forces, who, despite being outnumbered, managed to inflict heavy casualties on the Chinese forces. The pendulum of the war swung back and forth, with neither side gaining a definitive advantage. But on July 27, 1953, an armistice was signed at Panmunjom, bringing an end to the active hostilities. Yet, a formal peace treaty was never signed, rendering the Korean Peninsula technically still at war. So, what can be gleaned from this brief journey through the pivotal moments of the Korean Peninsula War? Firstly, this war was not simply a local conflict, but a symbol of the larger Cold War struggle between communism and capitalism. The involvement of international powers, such as the United States, Soviet Union, and China, only underscored this fact. Secondly, the Korean Peninsula War resulted in a significant shift in global politics. It set the stage for the ongoing North-South divide, a poignant reminder of the ideological differences that continue to shape our world today. Lastly, the war served as a stark reminder of the human cost of ideological conflict. With millions of lives lost, the Korean Peninsula War was a devastating testament to the destructive potential of human division. In closing, the Korean Peninsula War was a complex, multifaceted event that left an indelible mark on the world stage. Its reverberations continue to echo in the modern geopolitical landscape, a haunting reminder of a past that continues to shape our present. The Korean Peninsula War was not just a battle of ideologies, but also a costly affair in terms of lives lost and money spent. As we have learned, this war claimed an estimated 1.2 million casualties, a staggering figure that includes both military personnel and civilians. Families were torn apart, communities decimated, and a generation forever marked by the scars of conflict. But the cost was not just human. Economically, the war was a significant burden. The United States alone spent an estimated $30 billion on the war effort, a figure that doesn't account for the contributions from other countries. This financial strain extended globally as nations around the world poured resources into the conflict. The economic impact of the war was felt far beyond the borders of the Korean Peninsula. Industries were disrupted, economies strained, and the world was plunged into a period of uncertainty and instability. The war's end did not bring immediate relief as nations grappled with the economic aftermath and the daunting task of rebuilding. In conclusion, the cost of war is always high, both in terms of lives lost and economic impact. The Korean Peninsula War was a stark reminder of this, a costly testament to the price we pay when ideologies clash and diplomacy fails. As we move forward, let us remember this cost and strive for a future where such conflicts are a thing of the past. Voiceover: the Korean Peninsula War was a tumultuous period marked by rapidly shifting control and possession. North Korea initiated the war with a swift invasion of South Korea, seizing control of much of the peninsula. This sudden onslaught left the South Korean forces and their allies in a precarious position, struggling to maintain a foothold in their own country. But this was not a one-sided conflict. The Battle of Incheon marked a significant turning point in the war. United Nations forces executed a daring amphibious assault, successfully regaining control of South Korea. This unexpected move caught the North Koreans off guard and turned the tide of the war in favor of the UN forces. However, the entry of China into the war introduced a new variable into this volatile equation. With their support, North Korean forces were revitalized and the front line began to move back and forth once again. This oscillation in control was a defining feature of the Korean Peninsula War, a vivid illustration of the volatile nature of the conflict. In the end, the war was characterized by a constant shift in control and possession, perfectly encapsulating the unstable and unpredictable nature of war. As we reflect on the Korean Peninsula War, it serves as a stark reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing landscape of global conflict. Voiceover. As we peer into the rearview mirror of history, the Korean Peninsula War emerges as a complex and costly conflict that has left an indelible mark on the world stage. A significant chess piece in the grand game of the Cold War, it encapsulated the ideological struggle that defined the latter half of the 20th century. The battle lines drawn between North and South Korea were not just physical but ideological, a stark divide that continues to persist today. The ongoing North-South divide is a living testament to the lasting impact of this war, a chilling echo of the past that reverberates in the present. The human and economic cost of the war, however, serves as a grim reminder of the destructive potential of conflict. Thousands of lives were lost, economies were shattered, and the scars of war were etched into the hearts and minds of those who experienced it. This cost, both seen and unseen, is a poignant reminder of the price we pay when diplomacy fails and conflict ensues. In conclusion, the Korean Peninsula War was not just a pivotal event in world history, but a turning point that continues to influence global geopolitics. Its echoes continue to resound, a stark reminder of the past and a sobering lesson for the future.